Good evening, everyone. It is so good to see all of you here this evening. I am Elizabeth Gardner, and I'm a sports anchor at WIL TV. Yeah, you know why I said that, right? No. I will say, everybody said, "Oh, what a great weekend it was." Thank you. Please don't thank me because it will come back around. So I'm so sorry that it was such a mess for y'all to get in here tonight, but I'm so glad that you made it. This is always such a special night. All of you out there do so much wonderful work for the city of Raleigh, and it is wonderful to get all of you together and to celebrate you. Not only you out here, but everybody back here almost is also a volunteer for Parks and Recreation. So, yes, I am meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner from WRAL. Parks are so special to me. I live in downtown Raleigh, very close to a park. As a matter of fact, I lived 2 blocks from the park, and a house came up for sale right on the park, and I moved 2 blocks to be right on the park. And I try to spend as much time as possible in our Raleigh parks. And this is a really special year for parks in Raleigh. We have a parks bond that's going to fund 20 parks, and the plans are up and running, and they're all going to be finished in a relatively short amount of time. And so we're about to have a whole slew of brand new, fantastic, very exciting parks, all of which will need some volunteers. So, again, we're so happy to see you all. This, of course, is a night when we take time to reflect on how fortunate we are to live in a city that cares so much about our parks. So many people would have followed the example of Fletcher by giving of their time, talents, and resources to make our parks such a special place. During Fred's long and productive career in Raleigh, he took time to give so much to our parks. He was a parks board member for 54 years. Isn't that incredible? Every time I read that, I'm like, really, is that the right number? I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? He served as chairman for 30 of those years. And today it's estimated that our parks receive more than 4 million visits each year. And our city is blessed with, on average, 10,000 people who annually volunteer their services to our parks and their programs. 10,000 volunteers. Very impressive number. Tonight, we honor all these volunteers by singling out the best of the best. This evening, we'll hear from a few important individuals who joined us, and then we will present the awards that you see listed in your program. The ceremony will take about an hour and will be followed by a dessert reception in the lobby. Also, a wonderful treat. To begin with, it's my pleasure to introduce Beverly Clark, the chair of Raleigh Parks, Recreation, and Greenway Advisory Board, to provide your welcome for the evening. Beverly?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is a great night, as Elizabeth said, because you all are exceptional. And if without you, the city's Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Department would not be able to accomplish all that it does. As board members, we get to see the hard work of the staff, but tonight we get to recognize the individuals and groups who provide your time, talent, resources to enhance our city parks. We are honored to recognize groups and individuals who have assisted in enhancing our natural resources, coaches who mentor and work to inspire youth, and individuals who selflessly give of their time just because they know they can make an impact in our Raleigh community. Every person here tonight is special, whether you're a recipient or a nominee. But I am so excited that we get to tell the community about the great work that you all have done. I'd also like to take a quick minute to recognize the individuals who volunteer to advise City Council on parks, recreation, and greenways. These volunteers are sitting up here, and they are on the Parks, Recreation, and Greenway Advisory Board. And there's Carol Ashcraft, Ian Burnett, Kate Dixon, Robert Edgerton, Gregory Etheridge, Hugh Fuller, Doug Johnston, April Love, Chris Piera, Marcia Presnell, Jen Rett, and Kara Strang. In addition, we have 3 who could not make it tonight with Sean King, Shane Romero, and Jeff Havner. So thanks to my colleagues on this board. It has been a pleasure serving as the chair and working with these very committed individuals. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Beverly. And again, thanks to all of you for being here this evening. Fletcher was a community spirited man, as we mentioned, all the decades and decades that he drove to the Parks Department. We are honored to have his son, Bill Fletcher, present with us tonight. I have been honored to be here on this stage. I don't remember how many years, at least 10. And Bill has been here at least that or maybe more to be here to talk to you about his father. Bill graduated from Broughton High School and NC State University, enjoyed a 25-year career in marketing and advertising. And today, Bill and his team at Keller Williams Realty are helping people buy and sell residential real estate. But Bill is also an avid volunteer like his father. He started 2 Boy Scout units, served 18 years on the Wake County Board of Education, and leads an innovative literacy program for K through 2 children sponsored by his Rotary Club. Most recently, Bill has launched NC Reads, which is a new nonprofit with the goal of closing the persistent reading gaps at 3rd grade. Let's welcome Bill Fletcher.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's my pleasure to be here. And I was a little shocked today when I was looking at my notes, and my father passed away in 2000. It just doesn't seem like it's been that long. And then again, it seems like it's been forever. So thank you for allowing me to be here. If he passed away then, most of you never met him. So let me tell you a little bit about it. If Dad were here, he'd be sure to hug all the women. He'd shake everybody's hand because he was sure there was a friend that he had not yet met. He'd give honor to his wife of 65 years, Margie. He'd be bursting with pride about the park board and the entire park staff and what they do every day for the community he loves. He'd then start to cry and tell a story. Well, don't tell me to add to this, but the truth of it is some of Dad's most enjoyable times were spent fishing. And he decided rather late in life that the Parks and Recreation Director needed to do something to encourage kids to go fishing. So he called up the director then, Stephen. He called up the director then and said, "You get the fishing rods and I'll get the worms." A few weeks later, there was a fishing rod lending program at Shelley Lake. Fred served as a parks champion for our community for more than 50 years. He advised 4 governors on the recreational needs for our North Carolinians. And when Fred saw a need, he worked to meet that need. He also saw opportunity. One time he saw an overgrown lot in downtown Raleigh. You couldn't build on it. You couldn't walk on it. Then he turned it into a basketball goal, erected a basketball goal and a concrete court for a little pocket park in Raleigh. Fred also helped to create the vibrant Golden Agers clubs. He hosted the annual Christmas dinner and TV broadcast celebrating our senior citizens for decades. I know that the Raleigh Parks Recreation and Greenway Group invests heavily in programs and services for all of our citizens, as Ringling Brothers might say, for children of all ages. But I must tell you that I particularly appreciate the programs embracing youth in our community, for they are our future. And after my 18 years on the school board, children that are at risk of school failure are at risk of life failure without our community coming around them. So you get to, we share many of these precious children, and while the schools teach them to think, you volunteers work diligently with them to teach them teamwork, commitment, self-respect, dependability, sportsmanship, and responsibility. Before Dad passed away, he'd been invited to speak at a luncheon on volunteerism. Whenever I visited his apartment, there were little slips of paper everywhere. The back of an envelope was not safe for him writing a note on it. He had called Dean Smith and Bill Friday and Jim Hunt and asked them for their thoughts. Why be a volunteer? Unfortunately, he was not able to make that speech, but I hope to share the essence of what he might have said with you tonight. Volunteers are very special people. Volunteers are lifted, carrying the load for some loafers out there But you know, the volunteer never asks, what's in it for me? A volunteer doesn't start out to gain glory. A true volunteer does what he or she can to make a difference in someone else's life. There's no thought of personal gain, and often there's what outsiders would call great personal sacrifice of time and finances because one chooses to give of themselves. The reality is that volunteers are actually our greatest leaders. They may never be out front or have a title, but by their actions and commitment, they demonstrate amazing feats of leadership and some of the greatest of human values. The Parks, Recreation, and Greenway or Cultural Resources Department alone couldn't provide the services they do if the paid staff provided direct services to youth without volunteers. Less than one child in 20 could be served. Think about that. You see, it's volunteers who make it work. You volunteers. It's you who create our community. It's you who give us the unequaled quality of life that we all enjoy. And we invite 60-some people a day to join us. The author, one of Dad's favorite authors, Anonymous, made this contribution. It isn't enough to say in our hearts that we like a man or woman for his ways. It isn't enough that we fill our minds with abundant, silent praise. Nor is it enough that we honor a man as our confidence upwards mounts. It's going right up to the man or woman himself and telling him that they count. So we're here tonight to recognize men, women, children, and organizations, to say thank you, to your family and friends, to your employees and employers who enable you to give so much. In this small way to say, and Fred Fletcher wants to say, well done. Thank you. And I found out I did their script.
Thank you so much, Bill. Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you for sharing some insight into who Fred Fletcher was. We can talk about the numbers that he, was a volunteer for 54 years, but Bill always gives us such great insight into who he truly was. So you know what an honor it is to win a Fred Fletcher Award. I'll call on April Love, who's the chairperson of the Fred Fletcher Awards Committee, to recognize some of the special individuals and groups that are here with us tonight. April?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. The Raleigh Parks and Recreation Cultural Resources volunteers have been honored in this fashion since 1996. This year, we're recognizing 15 award winners in 14 different categories. There are so many outstanding volunteers, and the Fletcher Awards Committee has the difficult task of selecting this year's winners. All of the 2024 nominees have received a certificate with our sincere thanks for all that you do. With all of the volunteers who were nominated for the Fred Fletcher Award this year, and this also includes our award winners, please stand so we can recognize you with a round of applause. Thank you to each of you for your service. I would also like to thank the Fletcher Committee, which has helped us plan for this year's awards program. My fellow Parks and Board members, please stand. Mr. Gregory Etheridge, Mr. Chris Perina, Ms. Marsha Presnell-Jeanette, and Mr. Rasheen King, who couldn't be with us tonight. These individuals, along with many others, have pulled together this wonderful program for you this evening. Now for the part you've been waiting for. At this time, I would like to invite our Parks Chair, Beverly Clark, to come to the table to assist me with the awards.
And now, remember, you've been waiting for the awards presentation. For those of you who are receiving awards tonight, when your award is being introduced by one of our presenters, please come forward and join us on the stage. We have stairs on either side, so you can come up whichever one is close to you. Come and stand beside the podium along with the person or persons who nominated you for your award. Each winner will receive an engraved award, and individual winners will receive a green jacket that's symbolic of the one that Fletcher wore whenever he was volunteering for the City of Raleigh. And I think that is so special. Wear it proudly as you continue to help make Raleigh Parks a shining asset for our city. Our first award this evening is the Harvey Carsovar Award. This is presented to an outstanding youth basketball coach who follows in the footsteps of Mr. Carsovar. Will Jason Clements please come forward to present the award?
First off, I just want to thank all the volunteers that have helped make our parks what they are, including our programs, our leagues, even if you're just laying mulch on the playground. All of you guys are very, very special to how we are able to function as a general department. So I really appreciate you guys. As I was sitting at my chair, I was nervous as fire. Anxiety was building up, as I'm sure everyone that's back here getting ready to give a speech was, but I was just thinking of a happy thought just so I wouldn't get so nervous. So I was kind of reflecting on a conversation that I had with our award recipient before we walked up here. And it was crazy because I was like, man, Wesley State actually won an ACC championship and went to a Final Four and beat Carolina, beat Duke twice in 3 weeks. I was like, it doesn't get better than that. So as soon as I started thinking about that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm good. All right. The Harvey Carsovar Award is an annual acknowledgement given to one of our individual basketball coaches that exhibits the ability to promote passion, integrity, positive life skill development to their players, coaches, and parents throughout the season. This award derived from the legacy left by the late Harvey Carsovar, who became one of our program's most admired coaches. Coach Carsovar would often go above and beyond to assist his players with developing knowledge and skills they could use both on and off the court. Furthermore, his coaching style exemplified what our staff envisions all of our coaches to be within our athletic program. This year's 2024 Harvey Carsovar Award recipient is Coach Kyle Beaver. Coach Beaver has coached youth basketball amongst other sports for over 3 years. During this last season, Coach led one of our Mighty Mite boys basketball teams at Lakeland Community Center. The team got off to a rocky start as Coach recalls losing 3 straight one-point games and having to witness the emotional disappointment spreading throughout the team. Any other coach may have let the disappointment ruin the season, but not this coach. He showed up the next practice and challenged his team and reinforced that if they kept working hard, the results would come. Coach saw a drastic improvement with the team after that talk, and as the second half of the season began to unfold, those tears turned into smiles. And personally, as a professional in this field, that's all that matters. Coach was able to take a true life moment of disappointment and display the importance of teamwork, sportsmanship, and the belief that things would get better through adversity. Coach's commitment to building character and confidence in his team is evident for all that have experienced this coaching. Coach believes that for young ages, that can be accomplished by promoting a fun-filled environment. That's why it's not shocking to see Coach incorporate a few fun games and activities for the team to participate in after their drills to keep the enthusiasm up. Throughout the years, Coach has prided himself on being lucky enough to not only be involved as a coach, but also participate in the league as a youth. In fact, as a Millbrook High Schooler, Coach recalls being caught by one of his high school basketball coaches while playing at one of our rec leagues in the local Millbrook Community Center. Unfortunately, that ended Coach's recreational participation for that year. But it's fair to say that Coach has experienced the value of our programs from both an adult and youth perspective. His dedication to passing on love and support for all of our leagues to the next generation of rising stars is greatly appreciated. And that is why it's with great honor that I would like to present Coach Kyle Beaver the 2024 Harvey Carsovar Award for Outstanding Basketball Coach.
Our next award this evening is Outstanding Athletic Volunteer. This is presented to an individual or group who demonstrates a high degree of personal commitment needed to organize, teach, instill good sportsmanship, and enhance our athletic program. Will Ian Burnett please come forward to present this award?
All right. So I feel lucky to introduce this year's recipient for the Outstanding Athletic Volunteer, Kyra Hardy. Coach K. Coach K is the kind of coach that every young athlete hopes to learn from, one that teaches the fundamentals of their sport, plus skills like teamwork, respect, and effort that stay with the players long after they step off the basketball court. One thing that really stood out from my conversation with Kyra is how much she cares about her player, her family, as she calls them, and how seriously she takes her role as mentor for the hundreds of young children and teenagers she's coached over the past 15 years. As an example of this, she shared what each season's first practice is like. Whether the team is 5-year-olds experiencing organized sports for the first time, has players that haven't found a good fit with previous teams or coaches, or are experienced high schoolers, she gets to know the team as individuals first so that she can plan the season to meet everyone's needs. And I think if you could take away one thing about her is that a lot of players want to be on her team year after year, and that says everything. The City of Raleigh is a better place for the time, dedication, and passion that Kyra continues to share, and I thank her for everything that she has done. So on that note, let's give it up for Kyra, the infamous Coach K. Hardy.
The next award, Outstanding Financial Contributor, is presented to an organization or individual that has made a significant monetary or in-kind donation to the department. This award will be presented by Kara Strang. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Kara String, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight to tell you about the John Wall Family Foundation and how their dedication to and support of our shared Raleigh community earned them the Fred Fletcher Outstanding Financial Contributor Award for 2024. The John Wall Family Foundation strives to improve the quality of life for disadvantaged families and impact the lives of at-risk youth through mentorship, education, and physical activity. The foundation was established in 2015 in Washington, D.C., while John Wall was playing basketball for the Washington Wizards. At first, the foundation alternated events between D.C. and Raleigh. If there was a Thanksgiving event in D.C., there was a Christmas event in Raleigh. This pattern continued with Clippers until the foundation started to exclusively focus its efforts on Raleigh over the past 3 years. In that time, they have worked closely with the Salvation Army and started a school adoption program tailoring the resources they give to the needs of each school. Initially, the foundation worked with Durant Road Elementary School, and last year they adopted Durant Road Middle School for the 2024-25 school year. They created the Block Green Change Makers program to introduce kids to science, technology, engineering, entrepreneurship, and math through esports, robotics, and space activities. The program also exposes students to career paths in STEAM fields and provides mentorship opportunities with industry professionals. But tonight, we're recognizing the foundation for their support of the outdoor basketball court at Raleigh Park. The foundation donated $50,000 to refurbish the court, which included resurfacing the court with a new, softer, safer type of foundation, repainting, and having new nets and new backboards. Additionally, the foundation purchased 160 toys and donated them to Roberts Park for the annual toy giveaway during the Christmas holiday. Roberts Park is special to John Wall because he grew up in the neighborhood, playing on the court and in the rec center, and that's still where he plays ball with friends when he goes home. John's mom taught him that people remember you for who you are. You know where you came from. Focus your time and efforts on your community. John is consistent with checking in and maintaining a presence, wanting to give back the same kind of resources and time that were given to him when he was growing up.
The foundation is in the process of planning their summer events, including a back-to-school event in Roberts Park that will have a little spin on it and provide additional resources for the community. The John Will Family Foundation is always looking for volunteers and donors to support their mission events, so please check out their website, johnwillfamilyfoundation.com, for opportunities to support their initiatives in Raleigh. Please join me in thanking the John Will Family Foundation for their support of Raleigh and Roberts Park.
The next award will be presented to the Outstanding Greenway Volunteer. This award is presented to a group or individual that has consistently demonstrated devotion to the care and enhancement of the capital area greenway system. Beverly Clark will come forward to present this award.
It is my privilege and pleasure to introduce you to Preston Ross, the founder of the Greater Raleigh Cleanup. Preston has been a problem solver in the business world for many years, and now we are so blessed with how he's applying his substantial talents to making Raleigh a better community. During COVID, as work patterns shifted, he noticed the increasing litter and decided to do something about it. He started organizing periodic cleanups on Meetup, which have now morphed into something bigger, better, and truly profound. Over the last 4 years, his idea became a 501c3 that is actively improving our greenways and roadways. I can give you some really impressive statistics about the pounds of litter collected, more than 100,000, the pounds of meadow recycled, more than 25,000, and the number of volunteers, over 1,500, and much, much more. However, what Greater Raleigh Cleanup really does is far more than initiate cleanups. The real ingredient of its success is that it is an opportunity for connection. Each of those cleanups and each gathering is an opportunity to make a new friend, to share a common bond. Beyond that, he developed the Workforce program that he started with a small seed grant from the City of Raleigh. And in that, he employs homeless individuals to earn money, picking up litter, and making a connection with a stable, thoughtful mentor. Preston has taken an idea and made it greater than the sum of its parts. Tonight, we salute the work of the Greater Raleigh Cleanup and our man who makes it happen. Congratulations to Preston.
Our Outstanding Adopt a Park Volunteer is presented to an individual or organization that has consistently gone above and beyond the call of duty for a specific park as a leader in the city's Adopt a Park program. And Bob Edgerton will come forward to present this award.
I'll see Steve here in a minute. Tonight, it is my privilege to present the Outstanding Adopt Park Award to Steve McDonald. He has become a true asset to the Raleigh Park. Following a career that saw him engaged in major projects in Brazil and Eastern Europe, and eventually, I believe, in Atlanta, he moved to the southern part of the city of Raleigh because I think his roots for his family are in this area. And thank goodness he did, because where he did choose to live makes him very convenient to Lake Wheeler. And we can always use the help. Okay.
Since he began his volunteer duties, he has averaged over 120 hours a year in multiple duties. Due to his efforts, there's a beautiful, well-maintained little garden feature now at one of the entrances to the Lake Wheeler headquarters building. And I'm told that during the recent Lake Wheeler regatta, that Steve also volunteered as a launch driver. I have no idea what that is. He is known as part of the Lake Wheeler family, and he is the go-to guy when something needs to be done now. He is always willing to step up when park staff needs assistance. Steve is selfless and passionate about Lake Wheeler Park. He truly deserves our recognition for helping make a great park even better. Thank you, Steve.
The Outstanding Adult Program Volunteer is presented to a group or individual that demonstrates a high commitment to the efforts and enhancement of the adult program. Chris Pereira will come forward to present this award.
Tonight is a night all about unsung heroes. Each and every one of tonight's award winners are unsung heroes that will make sure that they get sung tonight. Even among Parks programs, there are some that get more and less attention. Often lost in the shuffle are many adult programs. Most people who think about our city's Parks programming think of our youth programs like sports. For a sports nut like Kathy Cosby, that's just fine. She's only lived in Raleigh for a little over 50 years. She and her now husband first bonded over NC State basketball. And if you think that the Pack had a good season this year, and they did, they used to watch a guy named David Thompson. A true passion was baseball, and she played softball most of her adult life. In fact, Kathy has always been active, and so she thought nothing of it when a friend invited her to the Lakeland Community Center to take part in some activities with the local Golden Years Club. She may have thought nothing of it, but the club certainly did. It wasn't long before she was selected its president, a role she still holds today. The Lakeland Senior Club is one of the strongest and most active senior clubs in the city, sort of like the 73 Wolfpack of senior clubs. As president, Kathy could easily be considered the David Thompson of the group, its leader and star. But those who know her know that she's more than that. She fills that important role of unsung hero, or as it's known in sports, the glue guy. She's the one who organizes field trips for the club members. She's the one who makes sure that records are kept, forms are filled out, and filled out correctly, for members who want to participate in activities. She's the liaison between the active adults program staff and the club members. She's the one who navigates club constitutional standards, Parks and Rec and cultural resources department guidelines. And if that doesn't sound exciting or glamorous to you, then that's true. But that's what a glue guy does, the unglamorous stuff. And yet, the fun doesn't happen without forms. Activities don't occur without participants. Teams don't win without glue guys. And most of our adult programs, or any of our programs, don't happen without volunteers, the lifeblood of those programs. Of course, not all volunteers are equal. It's why only the very best of our many volunteers are being honored here tonight. And not all of our volunteer activities are equal either. Some happen in an afternoon or a month or a few months, but some, like our senior clubs, go on throughout the year. So Kathy has worked tirelessly leading her friends and club members all year long. And she led them last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, because she's been president for 6 years now. She shows no signs of slowing down, and as long as she keeps going, so does the club, because that's what glue guys do. They stick to everyone and everything and keep the whole group connected. And when she finally does step down, hopefully it won't be for a while, I think the group is going to be fine, because it's because of what she's left behind, the glue that holds the group together. That's how all of our parks programs are. Stronger because of the volunteers that we honor tonight. Kathy Cosby.
The Outstanding Specialized Recreation Program Volunteer Award is presented to a group or individual that demonstrates a high degree of commitment towards the enhancement of specialized recreation and inclusion services program. This award will be presented by Hugh Phillip.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and fellow volunteers, it is a great honor and privilege to stand before you here today to recognize an exceptional individual who has dedicated his time, energy, and passion to the betterment of our community through his volunteer service. Today, we celebrate Sean Toomey as the recipient of the Outstanding Specialized Recreation Volunteer Award. Sean's journey with Raleigh Parks Recreation and Cultural Resources began in 2018 when he first connected with our specialized recreation and inclusion services through his involvement with the Raleigh Riders. With unwavering dedication and a heart full of compassion, Sean not only volunteered his time, but also generously donated his personal duet wheelchair tandem bicycle, creating endless opportunities for individuals with disabilities to experience the beauty or limited mobility to experience the beauty of Raleigh's greenways. As we emerge from the challenges of COVID-19, Sean's commitment to our programs showed brighter than ever. He fearlessly jumped back into volunteering, bringing his infection, enthusiasm, and positive energy in every event and activity. Sean's impact on the Challenger Football League, Flag Football League, in partnership with the Carolina Panthers Challenger Flag Football, was nothing short of remarkable. Serving as a volunteer coach, Sean played a pivotal role in providing children and adults of varying abilities with a chance to participate in the organized Flag Football League. Beyond his volunteer work, Sean's an advocate for disability rights, and his passion for community engagement and his dedication to promoting health and wellness through recreation make him not only an outstanding specialized recreation volunteer, but an outstanding individual. Sean's impact reaches far beyond the football field, leaving a lasting impression in all those he encountered. As we honor Sean today, let us not only celebrate his achievements, but acknowledge the values of patience, understanding, selflessness, and community that he exemplifies every day. Sean's service is a testament to the power of volunteerism and the transformative impact that it can have on individuals and the community. Congratulations, Sean, on receiving the Outstanding Specialized Recreation Volunteer Award. Your dedication, compassion, and unwavering commitment to service inspires us all to continue to make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you for being a shining example of the power of volunteer.
Have you ever wanted to save a natural area, a beach, a mountain, a trail? Friends of Lake Johnson helped save almost 12 acres right here in this growing city. To me, it's a miracle. Thanks to the Friends of Lake Johnson in the City of Raleigh, listen here from Lake County, now all of us can enjoy hiking, boating, and other activities at Lake Johnson. Yvonne Bowden, who helped launch the ferns and now leads it, rejoices that this unique lake park, its hardwoods, and its lake vistas are protected. One early spring day, she met me where cousin, pivot, wisteria, and other invasives blocked the view so completely that it was impossible to see anything, much less the lake. Then the friends removed the invasives. This was not as surgical as it sounds. Even with lots of volunteers, it took 3 years of, I know from personal experience, brutal, hard work. The job was so massive that it took 3 years to do it, even with energetic teens among the work groups. Boy Scout Troop number 398, Athens Drive High School's National Amir Society, not to the sun, the Key Club, Environmental Science Club, and Science National Honor Society. Yvonne describes this cooperation as a deeply rewarding experience. If that were all, there is just so much that Yvonne has been involved with that has benefited Lake Johnson Park. I'm a little biased because I've known her for years, but I do believe that some of the work that she does, a lot of the work that she does, has benefited every single person in this room, one way or another. So, on behalf of the City of Raleigh and the board, it is a pleasure to present the third Fletcher Award for Outstanding Volunteer Group to the Friends of Lake Johnson.
The Outstanding Project Volunteer Award is presented to a group or individual who will share their time and effort toward the enhancement of our parks through a specific project. Will Ann Brennan come forward to present this award?
This year's Outstanding Project Volunteer is being awarded to Accenture and their Raleigh office eco team, led by Sam Stonehouse and Noah Parkham. Last year, Sam and Noah applied for and received a $5,000 grant from Accenture to put towards Raleigh's Mount Hope Cemetery, and I should note that this is their second year in a row doing this. Altogether last year, 35 volunteers from Accenture's Raleigh office planted nearly 80 trees to replace those lost during the 2011 tornado storm. In total, that's over 160 trees that they've planted. Many of you in the audience can probably feel your back getting sore just thinking of breaking through a foot or two of rocky soil with shovels and digging bars, so I give kudos to Noah, Sam, and everyone at the Accenture office who pitched in to get everything planted in 3 hours. The effort is more than just restorative. Their time and resources are helping Mount Hope Cemetery achieve its goal of being a Class 2 arboretum. I want to express my thanks to Sam and Noah, to Accenture, and to all the employees who gave back to Raleigh in such an outstanding way. Thank you.
The Outstanding Park Volunteer Award is presented to a group or individual that has consistently demonstrated devotion to the care or enhancement of a city park. This award will be presented by Marcia Presnell Jeanette.
Kate Dixon is the winner of this year's award. Kate retired from a long career of nature stewardship. Thank you, Carol. Kate spent 14 years working with the Mountain to the Sea Trail, and prior to that, she worked for the Triangle Land Conservancy. She knows how to assess the terrain of the land and has experience in building trails and trail maintenance, educating and managing volunteers to standards that are consistent among each group of volunteers. Being a caretaker of the land is just in her blood and bones. Kate observed that a well-loved and well-used walking route in her neighborhood was in desperate need of rescuing from invasive English ivy and other vines. This prompted Kate to contact Raleigh Parks Recreation and Cultural Resources Division to ask permission to undertake invasive plant removal along the stream corridor. This is the Beaver Dam Creek in Windermere Park. The park staff approved, and Kate began to work with one helper, Amy McIntosh, who's here. Eventually, the team of two attracted other neighbors, and a Tuesday morning invasive plant removal team is out working, and they would have continued to work even today in the rain. They were out there working. So Kate tells me that she finds the work so gratifying. She works 6 days a week sometimes. She has accumulated 1,000 hours removing invasive plants. She has certainly kept Raleigh Parks maintenance crew busy with frequent pickups of huge piles of English ivy, fallen tree branches, and other items left hidden by visitors in the ivy. Kate's interest in Raleigh's parks motivated her to increase her volunteer work and was recently appointed to the Parks Board. So she's a colleague now. She has shown her enthusiasm for care for Raleigh's natural resources by taking over leadership of the Sustainability, Wildlife, and Urban Trees Committee of the Parks Advisory Board. Kate is eager to see other urban forests restored by removing invasive plants. And you know what? The city needs more volunteers for this work. Thank you, Kate, for your vision and what is possible when one is dedicated to the project. This award's well earned.
The next award is for the Outstanding Program Volunteer. This award is presented to an individual or group who shows time, talents, and resources toward the enhancement of a specific program. This evening, we're celebrating 2 volunteers in this category. Gregory Etheridge will come forward to present the award to the first recipient. And then should we do them both at the same time? I guess we will. Okay. And Myra Bradley, to Maya Bradley and Women that Care, and then you will present the second award to David Martinier.
Good evening, everyone. Hey. Well, she was more nervous than I am on that one, so that's good. Good. You know, I am so excited and so pleased to have this pleasure to present the Outstanding Program Volunteer Award, because as Ms. Law stated earlier, it was a difficult process in determining who will receive it. So having 2, man, that's totally awesome, right? So let's give folks a hand of applause. So Ms. Maya Bradley is the founder of Women That Care, Inc., and they've been helping families and communities in the Southeast Raleigh area for approximately 14 years, just giving back, providing school bags and school supplies to individuals as they return to school, as well as feeding families during the holiday season. And you have to understand how difficult a process it is for her and her team to get this done, because it takes thousands of hours combined of time and energy just to get this thing done. So combining that with Ron's own lifestyle is truly awesome. So we want to be very thankful that we have individuals who actually go back to their own community. You know, they say, you've heard the adage, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Most of you would apply that to lineage, right? Or genealogy. Well, this apple didn't fall far from the tree because it continues to serve the community that it grew up in and it raised children in. And I think that is so awesome. And I hope you do as well. They want to be sure that they give back and they do it on a consistent basis. And they don't worry about what they give back. It's all about the love and the energy that they get to share with the community that they lived in, continue to live in, and have raised families in. So, Ms. Maya Bradley, we want to thank you for your contribution, you and your team. All right? Again, I'm still excited. I still have the awesome pleasure of presenting not one, but two recipients for the Outstanding Program Volunteer Award. This young man, Mr. David Martineri, correct? Hey, look at that. Got that, y'all. See? So, not only is he a business owner, because any of you that are in business, you know how difficult it is to run a business, especially a startup business, but he has a foundation, Lamar Cares, that volunteers in the neighborhood that he grew up in, which once again is very important. I think one of the things that makes it so important is the fact that the individuals that live in that community can identify with him because he comes from the same community. His staff of volunteers that are friends and family members, they just give out of their own heart. They don't look for anything in return, just to make sure that the individuals have opportunities. They feed individuals during holiday seasons. They provide supplies for children. They provide toys during the holiday season to make sure that those that are less fortunate still have a good holiday season. Now, the reason these things are so dear to his heart is because Mr. Lamartineri is a first-generation American. His family migrated here from Haiti for better opportunities and better possibilities. And he's seizing that opportunity not just for himself, but for the individuals in his community. So he goes back to the same community he was born and raised in Southeast Raleigh, and he relentlessly puts out an effort and provides energy to the individuals in that community. So I think that is so awesome, and I hope you guys do too. I missed it that time. Let's start over. Mr. Lamartineri, congratulations.
This is what happens at the station all the time. Like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? You should watch more carefully.
All right. The outstanding team volunteer is presented to a team that demonstrates a high degree of commitment to a program, event, or park. I'd like to invite April Love to come up and present this award. Good evening again. By day, I'm a teacher who hopefully gets people who are actually listening, so I'm super excited to know that you all are truly listening. I am so excited to present this award to London Evans. One, not just because I'm a teacher, but two, because I have truly enjoyed listening to her reports monthly. As the president or the chair of the Raleigh Youth Council, she comes to our meetings and reports out with that smile that she's trying to hide how excited she is. Like, we did this, we're going to do this, and you need more people, and need help, and thank you. And good night. And that's how she presents. And it's wonderful to give that energy, especially after we've had a long meeting, Ms. Clark. It's super exciting to know that she's going to continue to set the world on fire. While she has participated, she has over 60 hours of community service. When I spoke with her, she talked to me about the fact that her favorite event is the tour drive. And when I asked her why does she volunteer, she said it's because she was always wanted to help people and she enjoys seeing a smile on their face. And I encourage you all to read the programs about all of the recipients. Don't just, recycle it or not look at it, because it really does help you get a better sense of these amazing people that we are honoring. She's done all of the drives: food drives, hygiene drives, dog drives, teacher drives. She's just got a lot of drives. And I'm super excited about the other things that she's going to do. She's going off to school. One of the things that it doesn't say, I'm not going to forget sister out there, London is a 10, but she is definitely her own person. She and her sister both come to all of the council meetings and inspire us to want to do more to help them. And the other thing you all out there, the audience didn't know, this is actually a recruitment event. So we are hiring people, but also inviting you all to come help however you would like. So I am pleased to present the 2024 Outstanding Teen Volunteer Award to London Evans.
Our next award is the Outstanding Cultural Resources Volunteer Award. It's presented to an individual or group who has consistently demonstrated devotion toward the enhancement of historic resources, arts, cultural, and/or diversity programs. Doug Johnson will come forward to present this award.
Good evening, everyone. Miss Evelyn Nemeth is a designer who specializes for breathing life into business and professional materials and transforming them into tangible assets. She has parks not just for physical exercise, but also for exercise of the imagination, for background, for fostering creativity, and for instituting a sense of joy and discovery. Her creative use of materials as a designer shines through her many hours of volunteer work, notably during Mud Day, which itself is an unusual material for anyone, much less a publication designer. But she works there at the Wetland Center annual project and deals with, as she put it, all things muddy. Muddy kitchens, muddy floors, muddy wetlands. And it's an experience that everyone enjoys. Her timeless efforts include everything from setting up projects and events, decorating them, and taking them down, working long shifts and consecutive events. She epitomizes the spirit of a Methodist hymnal, which is appropriate because the Fletcher Park is on the grounds of the Methodist home. the hymnal reads, and she epitomizes these words: do all you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, to as long as you can. Outstanding cultural resources volunteer, Miss Heaven, I'm trouble remembering that sometimes. Heaven, Nemeth, well done.
Our final award of the evening is the Award of Excellence. It's presented to a person or group who exhibits the best example of volunteer action to improve the quality of service and facilities of the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Department. Contributions of this volunteer have a continuing impact on the quality of services offered by the department. And I'll invite April Love up again to award the Award of Excellence.
Okay, so we saved the best for last. Everyone here, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So I'm pleased to announce that the Award of Excellence will be going to Jermaine Johnson, who, go ahead, clap. All right. Sure. So we've already honored Coach K, if I believe that was right. So now we're going to honor Coach J. So we're going to talk about the fact that this is a full circle moment for him. His father won this award in 2010. So we're also excited about the legacy of service that he is continuing since his father. We also want you to know that he is also a coach of legacy players. He has coached fathers and sons and now daughters. And we want to continue to thank him for continuing to work with other people's children. When I asked Jermaine, what I didn't say was, I know Jermaine since we were about 7 years old. So when I asked Jermaine, why do you continue to coach? He was like, I got kids, the coach quit, So I understood that too. So I asked him, why do you continue? And he said it was because he enjoyed watching the young people get better, come back, talk about all the things they're doing, all the things they learned. And when I asked him, what is one of the things that you want them to remember? He said, always do your best because you never know who's watching. So the person in that was, Jermaine has always been a leader. He's confident, he's laid back, but he has a competitive spirit. So when we were younger, if Jermaine wanted to play whatever, everybody played whatever. So continuing on through in high school and middle school, whatever he wanted to do, we did. The posse got bigger and more diverse, and he is a national-born leader. And it is my pleasure to present our Award of Excellence to Jermaine Johnson, otherwise known as Coach J.
We don't use scripts when we do weather, by the way. It's all ad-lib. I should be able to ad-lib this, right? All right, we got all mixed up here. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, they're numbered. I'm gonna get this here in a minute. All right. Sorry. All right. So I got it. So next time I'm just gonna carry them back and forth. So sorry about that. Anyway, so I told you guys this is going to be a really special evening, and it always is. It's amazing to hear the stories of all of the work that the volunteers do for our parks in Raleigh. It's really inspirational. I thank all of you who are volunteers, and I hope all of you who are thinking about being a volunteer will be inspired, not just in this room, but to go out with your friends, your neighbors, and start to pitch in. The stories are really, really incredible. I would like to invite Stephen Bentley, the director of the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Department, to come up and provide our closing remarks. And as he comes to the podium, I have a lot to say, so you might want to wait a minute. Let me tell you about the extent of our Raleigh Park system. The department manages programs and operational responsibilities that are highly diverse and wide-ranging. As you heard tonight, so many different types of volunteers for our parks because we have such a wide range of them. We're most known for national award-winning accomplishments, 438 dedicated full-time staff, and roughly 2,000 part-time staff provide services impacting over 4 million visitors per year. Raleigh Parks manages 10,000 acres of parks and greenways and over 1 million square feet of public buildings. This dedicated staff, along with thousands of outstanding volunteers, it's just one more reason that Raleigh is such a wonderful place to live, work, and play. Stephen.
Good evening, everybody. I became the director 18 months ago. I had like beautiful brown hair, so on behalf of the Raleigh Parks Recreational and Cultural Resources Department, I want to say sincerely thank you to all the winners, but all the volunteers. Our mission statement is pretty simple. It's together we connect and enrich our community through exceptional experiences. And I think you heard that word exceptional a lot tonight, probably in everybody's speeches. As Elizabeth indicated, we have thousands of volunteers. And over the course of my 20-year career, I've been able to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers myself. My previous employer is Wade County Parks, and my first job in the Triangle was at Lake Crabtree. And I did park operations, and I had a volunteer that made 3 things. He made benches, bluebird boxes, and picnic tables. And he loved it. When he delivered them, it was like Christmas. And I was excited because this volunteer is building things. And I asked him, why are you so excited? He's like, well, one, I'm building home for birds. They come back every year. They have more birds, and those birds come back every year. So I'm building homes. He goes, the second is, there's nothing like sitting at a table and eating something and getting to know someone, breaking bread, right? The third is, and this is the one that would always catch me, he would be like, I love building benches because you don't know the day that person is having, so I'm lifting them up. He goes, and in some instances, I'm creating a seat where someone is getting proposed to. So those are the memories that I think all of you, your coaches, your beautification projects, you're building things, but you're really making this really strong impact on our community and really leaving generations of Raleigh better than where they are today. So volunteerism is all about giving of oneself, giving one's time and passion and commitment. And what we've heard tonight, philanthropy. You and your peers give to our community in so many ways, and we've heard the stories through coaching, helping people with unique needs, beautification projects, the ever-going challenge of battling our invasive species of different plants across Raleigh. But all around, we are a much better park system because of you. And I would say we're a much better city for you because of you. So thank you, and a round of applause to everybody. I want to thank our Parks Board who was up here. They put in a lot of time, not only monthly meetings, but they volunteer. As you heard, Kate is always out in the parks. There are eyes and ears, and they're your community voice. So believe me, I get text messages and emails a lot from these individuals that say, we got to do this. But because I would like to have a round of applause for our Parks Board. Not only do we have the Parks Board, I also want to thank our Arts Commission, our Public Art Design Board, our Historic Resources and Museums Board, our Historic Cemeteries Board, and our Dix Park Community Committee. So thank all of our boards. I'd like to thank our MC and Mr. Beth Fletcher for coming tonight. Elizabeth and Beth, thank you for always coming and delivering, and also thank you for your commitment to our community. And finally, I want to thank our staff. I am so fortunate to work with the best of the best. I want to highlight the beautiful greenery, or should I say, colors that are in front of you tonight. This comes from our Parks and Natural Resources staff and our horticulture staff. I love Chris's speech about the glue, because the glue that keeps this volunteer program going are four exceptional women in our department. Mary, Rachel, Arlinda, and Abigail. Please put your hands up wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you, both you. They are the busiest individuals I know in the month of April. And well, all year long, but when they told you what they did in April, I was just like, I am tired for you. So one of our former directors always ended with this quote, and I'm going to keep that tradition. It's from Winston Churchill. We make a litter by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So thank you and have a good night.